We're at a point now where it's unfortunate. I have a lot of respect for most of the police. I think most of the police officers, they want to do their job, but right now they're just standing down, especially in Portland, Oregon. And so I kind of want to make a call for these guys to make a conscientious decision to protect the Constitution, which is the First Amendment. If you get an order from someone above you that's asking you to go against the Constitution, you need to do what is right. The second thing I'm going to take from this is if the police are going to stand down and we're not going to have law and order, you're going to have patriots from all over the country come in and they're going to do their job like you saw on Saturday, because they had Antifa, they had Sharp members running scared. There's that viral video where that Sharp member, had a baton, went up against a guy, a Proud Boy, who had nothing but his arm, blocked it twice, hit him with one punch, and he was out. He was done. And so I think patriots will begin to stand up and take back the streets.
We shouldn't have to be afraid to go out as Americans. Every time we have a rally, a conservative rally, a Christian rally, a pro-Trump rally, every single time, 9 times out of 10, we will get Antifa, BLM, BAM, and now the Brown Berets in California to be aggressive to us, to attack us simply because we respect the American flag. We'll stand to the national anthem. This fighting is all due to the Democrats. And I'm calling the Democrats domestic terrorists. They are 100% domestic terrorist group in the United States. You have Maxine Waters calling for violence towards conservatives, anyone who's on the Trump administration. Can you imagine had this happened if Obama was in office and you had a Republican do this? It would be
If a Republican was saying rise up, surround them, beat people up, I'd say hell no. I mean, exactly. This is they call us Nazis. This is exactly how Hitler came to power with the brown shirts. They did this exact same thing. Joey Gibson is the founder of the Patriot Prayer Group and is running for U.S. Senate as a Republican. Joey is fighting for freedom with the strength and power from God and love, GibsonForFreedom.com. And he goes out to these events. He just has prayer vigils. And the left gets really triggered by that and comes out. And they do it up and down the West Coast. Will Johnson also does it, UnitedAmericaFirst.com. What a great website, but even greater info he's involved in. He's a founder of the Un-American First, a movement that began during 2016 election. And I've heard him talk on my show and others about it. He just kept seeing the lies and the race baiting and how evil it was. And he just had this knot in his gut, this knot in his chest. I'm the same way. I can be totally exhausted, like 8 at night, something big happens, and I just suddenly have all this energy. Like when they attack me, too. I don't like being attacked when I know they're lying. I suddenly, it doesn't make me get scared when they do these horrible things to me. It's the opposite. People say, oh, you're so brave. Brave? I'd really be brave. I just laid down and let these dogs chew my guts out. It's the opposite. I'm fighting for my life here. These people are evil. That's what we're talking about here. So Will Johnson and Joey Gibson. Let's go to Will first, but jump in any time, Joey. Wow, what happened this weekend? Even the local news had to admit Antifa attacked first. Bottles. I mean, well, you were there. Tell folks what happened.
I want to thank you for having me on again. And I'm thankful for Joey to invite me to his event. It was absolutely crazy. We were completely peaceful. DHS did a beautiful job. They did an awesome job. They protected all of us. When we were going into the event, we had to, if anyone had pepper mace or anything like that, they had to give it to DHS. So we didn't have anything to protect ourselves from these Antifa domestic terrorist groups. But it was absolutely insane for what they were doing. It's just like Berkeley all over again. We go there, we're completely peaceful, we're Trump supporters, we're black, we're brown, we're white, we're all together, no one's fighting. It's only when we go out onto the streets where Antifa and the Portland police didn't do their jobs to protect us.
Well, that's in the Soros documents that they work with Blue City Police to stand down, even let them engage in violence. Joey, tell us about your prayer group, the events you've had, and why you think Antifa particularly attacks these.
Yeah, so basically, we started doing this because we saw people getting beat up in the streets during the Trump election down in San Jose. So the goal was to go out and just challenge it and expose them. But at the same time, our rhetoric has always been about love and prayer and talking about God. Yet these people come out of nowhere and they hate the freedom aspect, okay, because a lot of them are communists, and they seem to just really hate the message of God, like they despise it. And so they just come from all over the West Coast to whatever rally we're throwing, and they're going to use violence and do whatever it takes to silence us.
What was the big takeaway from this latest one, A, and then B? It's here. They say revolution. They say they're going to launch the attacks. There's arrests all over the country, attacks happening everywhere. Behind the scenes, I can't get to it yet on air. They have launched attacks against me and my family that are out of a Twilight Zone movie. I mean, I'm talking basically like intelligence agencies, but it's the Democratic Party and Soros. He's put $18 billion in. I mean, the battle is really heating up.
I would say there's two things to take from this. Number one, we're at a point now where it's unfortunate. I have a lot of respect for most of the police. I think most of the police officers, they want to do their job, but right now they're just standing down, especially in Portland, Oregon. And so I kind of want to make a call for these guys to make a conscientious decision to protect the Constitution, which is the First Amendment. If you get an order from someone above you that's asking you to go against the Constitution, you need to do what is right. The second thing I'm going to take from this is if the police are going to stand down and we're not going to have law and order, you're going to have patriots from all over the country come in and they're going to do their job like you saw on Saturday, because they had Antifa, they had Sharp members running scared. There's that viral video where that Sharp member, had a baton, went up against a guy, a Proud Boy who had nothing but his arm, blocked it twice, hit him with one punch, and he was out. He was done. And so I think patriots will begin to stand up and take back the streets.
And again, I've watched hours of the videos, how they would throw the bottles, they would attack first, the police stood down, you guys would kick their butt, like Tommy Robinson fighting off 9 guys himself, even though he's a little guy. Describe the essence of that, and then we're going to go to break of what happened.
So yeah, it's like, okay, we'll talk about June 3rd, for example. So that was the first Portland rally a few weeks ago. You have these Antifa kids chasing after families, people who can't really defend themselves. You look at Haley Adams and her family, they attacked them, stole their property, beat them up because they saw them as an easy target. Same thing with an elderly man, Kerry Hudson. They went after them because they can't take on the real patriots willing to defend themselves. So June 30th comes along, and there's all this rhetoric about how I'm not going to be able to show up because they're going to kill me, they're going to stab me. All this talk, they show up, they go running down the streets, and the patriots just chase them a whole block down. And
we just showed dramatic footage we'll come back with again. You were there. I mean, you've got a guy with one of those extendable metal clubs you can kill somebody with, a police baton, basically an extendable baton. They could break your bones, whipping it at you. And, of course, fella steps in and just, boom, total KO, knockout, boom. And they don't. And the woman tries to attack you. That's their thing. They try to get women to attack you, so you got to defend yourself. And they go, "Oh, you attacked a woman." They're so tough till one of them gets hit, they all turn and run. The definition of scum.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why it's really important that we unite, we come together in mass numbers, and just have each other's backs. Because the only way they can really win is if we fall apart, we divide, we get people to go off on their own. And that's exactly what happened to Haley Adams' family, which they had the courage to do it, but they crossed the street wearing MAGA hats, which that's their right to do, They went across the street and they confronted Antifa, and then they just started attacking her father, her mother, her sister. They held down Haley and stole their property right in front of the police. And so they'll do that. They'll act real tough. There's a lot of them who act tough, but the second they got to go toe-to-toe with any patriot, man, they start running. They get one punch and they're done. And so, unfortunately, the only thing they can do is try to find a victim, someone who can't defend themselves.
Well, I know this. When I've seen the videos of them coming up and attacking women in strollers and stuff, these women need to be packing, man. Thugs start assaulting women, they need to defend themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Will Johnson, what do you say to that?
We shouldn't have to be afraid to go out as Americans. Every time we have a rally, a conservative rally, a Christian rally, a pro-Trump rally, every single time, 9 times out of 10, we will get Antifa, BLM, BAM, and now the Brown Berets in California to be aggressive to us, to attack us simply because we respect the American flag. We'll stand to the national anthem. This fighting is all due to the Democrats. And I'm calling the Democrats domestic terrorists. They are 100% domestic terrorist group in the United States. You have Maxine Waters calling for violence towards conservatives, anyone who's on the Trump administration. Can you imagine had this happened if Obama was in office and you had a Republican do this, it would be a
If a Republican was saying rise up, surround them, beat people up, I'd say hell no. I mean, exactly. This is they call us Nazis. This is exactly how Hitler came to power with the brown shirts. They did this exact same thing.
Yes, exactly. And we have to experience this every single time. We're 100% peaceful. We were at Joey's rally and 100% peaceful, everyone getting along. It wasn't until we went out in the streets to where we had.
Amazing. Again, cameras don't catch it all, but I mean, describe what it's like when these Antifa come up and try to basically kill you with metal pipes and are swinging for the fences, and then one of them gets hit and they all run. I mean, what is that like? Because it looks very exhilarating when the guy just, I want to give that guy an award. Do we know who that guy is that just cold cocked that guy that tried to kill him with the club? I mean, that is just, that's the real deal right there.
Yeah, that's Rufio. He's a Proud Boy. He's in Washington, up in the Seattle area. Real big dude, works out all the time, and he has a big heart. He's a really good guy. And we appreciate him standing in there and sticking up for all the people who are marching, you know, the women and the elderly, and just standing up like a real man. That's the spirit that we got to have in this country. And so,
I agree. I want to get him on because let me say this. Notice it took one man to stand up to those thugs, and they all ran. One man. They're all up there sticking their chest out with their clubs, with their maces, with their weapons. It took one guy to stand up and knock them upside the head, and they all ran. I mean, isn't that archetypal?
Yeah, absolutely. And it really represents, you know, that's the true American spirit right there, right? It's no fear. It's just standing up for what you believe in. And that's what the whole rally was about. It's the Freedom and Courage rally. It's about, you know, it takes courage to really stand up for freedom, to get freedom. And that's it right there. It represents it. And to just see him stand up to him. And he had no hesitation. And that's what I love. And that's what I appreciate it. And it was completely justified. It's all self-defense. And so he pretty much became a hero overnight.
That's right.
You should have seen him. He drove back with us to the bar. He walked up to the bar and the whole bar just started chanting his name because it was all over the country.
And again, say his name again.
His name's Rufio, Ethan Rufio.
Well, we need to get him on ASAP. And it's not because he attacked somebody. He stood up to 5 or 6 guys waving weapons at him, and then they all turned and ran. That's what it's all about. It's not striking first. And that's my big concern, guys. I'm worried they've been caught, obviously trying to stage that whole clash with the police ordering the new right folks that I don't agree with a lot of what they have to say into the Antifa scum. And Trump was right to condemn both sides, but the police made them clash. It's come out. The police stood down. I'm concerned they're going to pull more of that and then try to get a big race war going. What do you think, Will?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. When we were walking down, Portland police, they actually saw Antifa and the American supporters, I like to call them, facing off, and they did nothing to prevent what took place. We are in a civil war. It's not a hot civil war, but the Democrats are pushing for a racial division. They're pushing for a racial war. And my main goal is to stop that, because we should not be fighting each other based on one's complexion. They are literally trying to destroy the United States. They're so bitter. They're so angry because Donald J. Trump is the president. And every time we have these rallies, we have to be on the guard. Women come out with helmets on, come out with full metal jacket gear on, because they wanted to avoid the violence with these Antifa domestic terrorists that's the foot soldiers for the Democratic Party. Every single time, every single day, we see this from the left.
What made you understand you had to do this? I mean, was it a knot in your chest like Will talked about? Because that's what it is with me. And then almost like a burning up my spine. And then in my mind, like it's in my gut starts here. And then it's like, I got to do something, because it's not like I got to go be a champion or hero. It's like evil's coming on me. I got to do something. And I've seen Will talk about that feeling. You know evil when you see it. Can you speak to the spiritual element of this?
Yeah, actually, Alex, a big part of this story has to do with you. I've always been awake in terms of the corruption in our government. I've always been a libertarian constitutionalist, and I started to listen to you for a while, and I really, I watched a lot of your shows. The one thing you kept pushing is that you can't just listen to your show. You have to go out and participate. And you kept pushing that and pushing that and pushing that. And it really spoke to me. And what had happened is a bunch of people got beat up in San Jose when they're leaving a Trump rally. And at that point, I was done. Like, I was done sitting in my house. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I'm going to go out there and participate. And it was a spiritual journey for me. And the first thing I did is I booked my tickets and I went down to Cleveland to the RNC, which you were at. And I went to your rally. I heard you speak. I shook your hand. And I came back home a completely different person and just completely committed to making change in this culture. The one thing I said in my speech is that if you see evil clear as day, which I was seeing, and you do nothing and you say nothing, then you're just as much to blame. So I refuse to stand down. That's pretty much it right there.
That's beautiful. Tell us your story, Will.
You know, I truly believe we're in a civil war. And I have to admit to something. Brain force actually works. For people who don't realize it, I mean, it actually works. So when I would go to these rallies, I would pop 2 brain force, and I was just right on it every single time, knocking them out. The liberals are confronting them. The brain force absolutely works. I can say it firsthand. But this spiritual war that we're in, it is a battle. And just like Joey said, I used to listen to you. You said, people, you've got to speak up. You've got to do your own videos, do your own podcasts, do those. And that knot, because you were doing that knot actually just got bigger in my chest, and I had to speak out. So, I mean, I'm in complete agreement with Joey and what you just said.
And the reason we tell those stories is that's all happened to us at one time or another. And then you guys inspire me, I inspire you, we all inspire each other. And then we show, like when we had the rally, our rally at Cleveland, I was so proud that more than half that crowd wasn't white. And that everybody loved each other. Everybody was hugging. There were Hispanic, black folks, Asians, white guys, white bikers, guys with their Iron Cross tattoos on their arms, hugging black folks. And I see Trump and the Tea Party and all this healing. It's actually the most loving place you can go is to a Tea Party event or a Trump event. That is the most open. People have light in their eyes. They're good. You go to a leftist event. Again, I'm not putting them down. They look like somebody sucked their soul. This is spiritual is what I'm saying.
Exactly. When I went to the Kevin De Leon and I confronted him about why is he putting illegals before the American people, I was the only black male in the room. And then they all looked demonic and they all started attacking me. They were yelling at me saying it's not true. And it is absolutely true that he's putting the illegals before the American citizen. That's why we're in the predicament that we're in right now with the borders and with the immigration situation. This war that we're in is not just about left and right, Democrats and Republicans. It is a spiritual war. And they're trying to bring this war that we're having to a hot war in America. And I truly believe, like I said before, we are in the second civil war in this nation.
I agree. And you've been saying that for a year that I've seen your videos. And as we cross over, I think they're trying to go hot right now, but none of them want to get the full blame. Moore's willing to say it. Maxine, in a way, I respect them because they're willing to say it. But they're really, I see them launching it right now. The numbers are pouring in. The attacks are all over the place.
Yes, they are. I mean, Maxine Waters gave the okay to Antifa, BAM, BLM, and the Brown Berets, or anybody who doesn't agree with the Trump administration, to go out and attack them, to approach them. When they're simply having dinner with their families, they're saying heckle them, be aggressive towards them, attack them where they are. It sounds to me that's just like the Islamic terrorists. Attack the infidels where they are.
And that's right. And MSNBC has a host I played earlier saying, oh, Sarah Sanders gets a life sentence. She's not allowed to be comfortable anywhere. Chase her down everywhere. I mean, that is so brown shirt.
It is 100%. They complain and say that Trump is the neo-Nazi supporter, that he's a white supremacist. Both Joey and I were called white supremacists by Nancy Pelosi. Everything that they do, that they say they're against, that's exactly what they do. It's unbelievable.
I can feel the energy. I mean, they're losing, but they're freaking out. I think the next few weeks, I think we're going to see some real violence.
I agree. You know what? That's why I'm constantly screaming. We have to vote them out, because if we don't vote them out in 2018, we all lose. It doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democrat.
And Will, you made a great point. They've proven they're a criminal, globalist, Chi-Com-funded organization that wants to overthrow the country. We have to get rid of the Democratic Party and create a new party.
Absolutely. The Democratic Party is a domestic terrorist group. They're promoting violence, 100%. Their foot soldiers is Antifa, BLM, BAM, and the Brown Berets, 100%.
Wow. Joey, we're going to break. You want to say something?
Yeah, something real quick. Just, I know we don't have much time, but we got to break through the lies. There's this attempt to make us think that there's not conservatives out there. There's not this huge shift. One thing we can do is show up in the streets. August 4th, we're going back into Portland, And the safest thing we can do is to just bring thousands of people.
I agree. August 4th, we're going to send reporters. Hell, I might even come. Will Johnson, Joey Gibson, GibsonForFreedom.com, running for Senate, UnitedAmericaFirst.com. I've been a bad boy, so every caller I don't get to gets a free T-shirt of their choice. That's a rule. Somebody's held more than an hour. I've been a bad person. I apologize, everybody. But let's go to some calls right now. Preston in the great state of Missouri, then Brad and others. Thanks for holding. You're on the air.
Alex, thank you for taking my call, and thank you as well as the crew for the amazing fight you put up against the New World Order and globalism every day. I want to plug your products real quick. I've bought pretty much all of your products, use many of them daily, use others incrementally. I give them to family and friends who are struggling with health, and thank you for making it easy to support the tip of the spear in the cultural war.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you. We're in this together, brother. I know you know this. When you realize how they're truly evil, it's not like thanking each other. We're fighting for our lives here, brother.
Absolutely right. I agree. On to my 9/11 question. We know 9/11 was an inside job conducted by criminal element sellouts within our government. Pretty much all the evidence shows that. 9/11 is what woke me up personally, you producing loose change, among many other things. In my opinion, 9/11 is the Pandora's box, the skeleton key to open up the doors to the globalist New World Order for those who are still asleep. So my question on Trump's 9/11 stance is, if we're ever going to take back control of the deep state, the people who were, behind 9/11, they need to be brought to their knees, put in prison or worse. How do you see it playing out? And I'm very interested in your answer here. How do you see it playing out with Rudy Giuliani being Trump's lawyer?
Sure. Let me answer that. Your phone's breaking up, but I got most of it. And I can do a whole hour on this, and I promise you, I will do a live feed after the show just on that question, because I was thinking the same thing last night and this morning. Look, if you bring out full 9/11, which Trump would like to do, it will tank the stock market. There will be a civil war on our side, and it's kind of like a thing in war is where if the enemy surrenders, you let them basically leave and go live on an island, like with Napoleon. It's been found to be better. And so 9/11 did have Islamic involvement, but there were criminal elements working with it to stand down and all the rest of it, and bombs in the buildings. And so Trump knows that. He said that at the time. That's why he's attacked. And now he's letting the deep state know, I'll play the ace card, ace of spades, if you try this, okay? And so I trust the president on this. I'm the one that I'm not going to get into it all, but the president's ready to move, and he intends to bring it all out in good time. That's a very complex issue, though. I mean, Trump is the president now, Will. Trump's the president, Joey. He knows all this damning stuff. He's kind of giving them rope. And I'm not saying he should cover anything up, but there's so much dirt. If he made it all about that, we would go into a civil war. So there's a real wisdom to this, and I'm lined up with Trump's discernment. And so I'm just taking it one step at a time. What do you think?
I think my main thing is that we get the job done. We get results. I've seen, you look at what's happening in Saudi Arabia. I was always uncomfortable how friendly we've been with them, especially the Bushes. And I was uncomfortable with how friendly Trump is with them. But if you look at it, they're arresting people massively, and it looks like things are being cleaned up.
Oh, he's kicking that whole group out. Yeah.
So I just want results.
Well, exactly. And look, we've already been lied to about bombs in the buildings and all this whenever it happened. The point is, if Trump can get the people that did it out of power, put some in prison, that's great. And I'm not saying cover it up. I'm just saying, how do we bring this out? I was just trying to expose the conspirators so we get a good government to stop it. But something this bad, how do you bring that out? That's what I'm asking Joey and Will.
One of the things is...
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, one of the things is all you have to do is ask about Building 7. As soon as you ask about Building 7, they all shut down. And one thing I hear, Alex, I hear a lot of people always talking about InfoWars as conspiracy theories, but you know what? You've always been correct. I've yet to see them disprove what you're saying. I mean, you talk about news today that's going to happen tomorrow. And then it becomes, reality, and they don't understand how is it possible that you're coming up with this information, like you have the inside track to all of it. And they don't like it. That's why you get these talk shows attacking you the way they do. It's unbelievable.
The big secret is I'm not that smart. The globalists communicate in publications with each other and admit all this. And then with us, they treat us like we're morons. It's just crazy. I'm going to jam in one more call here. You were going to say something, Joey?
I would also say maybe we should trust the strength of the public more than we do. I think that we can't handle the truth, and so I've just understood that when you lie to the public all the time, we tend to like we become too sensitive. So I say the truth is great for the country.
No, I hear you, and I've not pushed Trump to bring out 9/11 just because I wasn't even thinking about it, and then I don't want to brag or anything, but I mean, let me tell you, I got told it's his next deal. I got told last night at 10 o'clock at night, and I was like, okay, all right, okay, yes, sir. So it wasn't Trump, obviously, I was talking to, but these guys are in a lot of trouble, man. I can't believe how good Trump is, though. My spirit tells me he's good, but I keep getting paranoid. Like, is this really happening? What do you guys think about that? I mean, at a spiritual level, what do you when you ask Christ about Trump, what do you get back? I get back, this is my wrecking ball. Get out of the way.
I think Trump is what this country needed this day and time. This 100%. I'm still thankful. Thank God that Donald J. Trump is our president and not the Hildebeest, Hillary Clinton. She would have destroyed everything. The Democrats are on a path to destroy this
They're
nation.
Satanists. They can't do anything but destroy.
Yes, that is their plan. That's what they want to do. And I think, what we're doing, we're trying to expose all of that. When I went to the cafe in Oakland, the whole point was to expose the hatefulness, the evilness of the left, 100%.
God, they're so hateful. What happened to the left, though? Because I was younger, there were a lot of nice hippies, liberals that were like smart about stuff that was right. They didn't have that spirit. There were some bad Republicans and bad Democrats. It was kind of a mix, but something happened along the way with Democrats. I think just the media weaponized them.
I think Satan realized his time is short. So he's trying to work on these people to destroy. You got to go faster and faster to do as much as you can to destroy this nation. Time is wasting, according to them. If Satan went to the DNC and was talking to the Democrats, which policy would the Democrats disagree with? None of them.
That's right.
They would agree with all of them.
We'll be back.
100%.
The devil sends the beast with wrath because he knows his time is short. Let who with understanding reckon the number. It's 666. Fourth hour straight ahead with Paul Watson and your calls. All right, Paul Watson's about to get on. We only got 2 Skype lines, so we're going to get one of these great guys off and get Paul dialed in, about to take over. Finishing up, statements on just the epic moment in time. We're at Will Johnson of YoungAmericaFirst.com.
Yes, thank you for having me once again. I really enjoyed it. It's been a real honor. I would like to extend an invitation to you, Alex Jones, to come on my broadcast with me if that's possible. You or either Owen or most definitely even Rob.
I want to come on your show anytime.
That would be absolutely phenomenal if you would join me. I just want to say, you know what? InfoWars is the tip of the spear. I think what you're doing is so heroic. It's just something that we all can look up to and admire, and that we have to get in this fight together. Sitting down is no longer an option. So I want to thank you for having me on, and Owen as well.
I want to thank you. God bless you. Let me just say something about Will Johnson, YoungAmericaFirst.com. See how humble he is? He's just as well-spoken, has just as much courage as I do. He heard what we were doing. He was already awake. He went out and took action. He's just here thanking us. Take the left. It's all about them, about their Satanism, about their personal power, about where they're going. They think they're ascending. They're sinking into hell. Christ is the way to get out of this, and we know that, and that's why they hate us, and that's why they're coming after us. That was Will Johnson leaving us. Joey Gibson, with your prayer vigils that get attacked by Antifa. Again, tell us about that next event you've got coming up. Did you say August 5th?
August 4th.
August 4th, sorry.
Basically, the goal is this, is we respond by their violence with getting more people to show up. If we can flood the streets with thousands of people, we know the support is out there. It's about inspiring them to actually go out there and stand up for what they believe in. Because the enemy, the elites, all these people at the top, they don't want us to stand up for what we believe in. They want us to remain silent. And Alex, if you can be there, you're the one guy that can, bring thousands of people with you. And we'd love to have you. And I think it will make the event a lot more safe, because we can't trust the police if we just flooded the streets.
I want to go to all these events. But here's the thing. I'm here running these operations, and I'm every day getting important communiques of what we need to do, and then I want to do it. And then they've got me pinned down, because when I leave, they go out for my family. I've got to take my family with me now everywhere. It's gotten really bad. I can't get into all that. I had to go off air yesterday because of it. We need everybody's prayers here. I'm not complaining about it. I asked for all this, but I do need the prayers. So absolutely, Joey, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Great job.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
He goes to jail. He goes to jail. Lock him up.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
This 4th of July is special. Everybody can see it. They can feel it. The globalists are attempting to kill a worldwide awakening to their tyranny. And America, yet again, is at the heart of the resistance to the globalist. That's why this 4th of July, I'm asking all of our great supporters to think about InfoWars now more than ever. And what would the world be like if InfoWars wasn't there resisting the globalists? What would have happened if you hadn't supported InfoWars? We would not be having the victories we have today. So yes, a lot of good things are happening, but the enemy is striking back. So please, think about InfoWars and funding our operation while you get great products at the same time on this 4th of July that's so historic. We have record sales going on right now, free shipping on hundreds of different items. More than 20 items are 50% off, like Brain Force Plus, X2 is 40% off, Knockout Sleep Aid, $17.76, Silver Bullets, $9.95 colloidal silver, and free shipping. You can't beat that. This 4th of July is special, and our sales are special to match it. InfoWarsStore.com.